I don't know. Look at me, for Christ's sake. Class, settle the down. I'm so sorry. Were you guys listening to that? I don't always talk to my class like that, but welcome back to life school. I feel like that little boy in the meme where he was like, how you doing? And then he was like, fine. I'm just kidding. Everything's fine. We're so excited to be here. Welcome back to life school. Did you see that wink? It's really good. We asked you to ask gorgeous questions on Instagram, and did you deliver? We have questions aplenty, and I'm going to dole out questionable advice that you should or shouldn't listen to, but I trust you to make your own decisions based off this advice. So let's get started with life school.
How do I know if I'm a good enough parent? Deep.
I don't know if you ever know, right? Like, I don't know. I'm not a parent, other than to my animals. See, I don't want kids, because I don't want to ask myself questions like that. You know, from what I hear about it, it's like you have this baby, and then you experience like this overwhelming sense of love that you've never felt before, and then you anguish every day for the rest of your life for the health and safety of this baby, who then turns into like an ungrateful adult. Because you know what Buddha says? To love or to live is to suffer. So like if you love someone, you're taking a chance because everything goes away, everything's impermanent. So I don't know if you ever do know. I think it's something that only you can answer for yourself, Queen. I don't know. Look at me, for Christ's sake.
Okay.
Asking this non-binary person in a pink sweater with a yellow happy face on it and a half updo if I know what to tell you about being a good enough parent. I don't know. But that was sweet. That is a conversation for you in your heart.
Courtney Locks wants
Great
to
name.
know, I keep finding myself in situations like going out to eat that I can't afford. How do I tell my friends I can't afford to do the types of things that they're doing?
So you say, I really want to join, I really can't afford it, so unless you're just gonna like treat a girl or treat a person to a meal, I can't go. And I just, you wanna like bring your food over and I'll just like make something at home? I also love to say no. Like, especially to stuff like that. Can you come? No. Do you want it? No. Wanna go out to, no. You don't even have to tell them your situation. You can just say like, I can't make it this time. I'd like to come next. And you could also maybe get ahead of it by being like, you wanna go for a walk? You wanna go, like, suggest doing things that you can do. I mean, Jared just got felt up by a non-doctor on the airplane.
She was a physician.
I mean, so you say. So Jared experienced like a fall while skiing, and then he was telling anyone that would listen about it on the airplane. He was literally like telling people that he passed by. He was like, "Oh my God, my rib. Like, sorry, I hit you, my rib. It's like I broke my rib." And then the lady sitting next to him, he was like, "Oh my God, my rib really hurts." So then she rubbed up his entire like virile young man body, and then said, and it was like, "Oh, I'm a doctor, I can feel it." But then come to find out, she actually works for an insurance company as a retired physician. And I just feel like a physician would not, this is the real tea, I'm gonna tell you, because I'm a doctor's grandchild, so I feel like I know this. I feel like a physician would not give you a diagnosis on a bone fracture without an x-ray machine. That's where I'm feeling like you maybe got felt up by a stranger that's not a doctor. Because what doctor diagnoses you without an x-ray machine?
Well, she said it could
be anything.
Courtney Mulkins wants to know, what is true happiness and how do we really find it?
Court, that was like a heart-wrenching question. I think you find happiness with the earring that you lost when Kim lost the earring, but then you were like, there's people dying, Kim. Do you remember, Court? Yeah, no, okay, I'm just kidding, Court. I think that honestly, if I was gonna give you like my best, most authentic answer to this question, hold on to your seats, YouTube, it would be that true happiness is really in kind of like beauty or whatever. It's like in the eye of the beholder. It's like everyone has their own experience with happiness. Everyone has their own relationship to happiness. And I think that where we really become unhappy is by comparing our experience to others. I think it becomes very hard to find your own joy and your own happiness when we look at other people's experiences and then compare ours against theirs. and I can at least speak for myself, that's when I lose my happiness, is because it makes me want what I don't have versus like wanting what I have. And I think it's really important that we want what we have.
Brenda A.A21 wants to know, when is the right time in life to settle down and start traveling?
What? What kind of
Settle
question is
down.
that, Brenda? Settle down and start traveling? Well, Brenda, it sounds like you're ready to travel. And when that wild hair gets you to go on the open seas, travel the world like Moana once did. It's time for you to go exploring. I think you should do it. And I think you should do it whenever you feel like it. Have you heard about the Great Resignation? Everyone is just quitting their jobs and going on travel. So you know what I say? Brenda, the man, your job, quit right now, and tell him to get. That's what I would say.
Sidness99 wants to know, how do you know when to ask for help and not feel guilty for doing it?
Well, we should never feel guilty for asking for help. We really live in a society that teaches us to feel guilty for asking for help. We feel like we need to be completely independent and completely self-sufficient. Don't feel guilty for asking for help ever. It's actually a sign of strength, which reminds me of this story about when I was in rehab. So they blindfolded all of us, and they had to put your hands on the shoulders of the person in front of you, and then they walked us out to this like cornfield. And in the cornfield, there was this like rope maze. And you had to go into the rope maze, and they said you have 1 hour before the maze blows up. It didn't really blow up, but it was like, rehab game. So we're all going through and like searching for the way out, and I was just determined to find my way out. And so then they were like, 5 minutes till the maze blows up, 3 minutes till the maze blows up. And I'm like, where the is this exit? I can't find it. So then the maze blows up, and then I take off my blindfold. I'm the only one out of like 60 people still in the maze. And the whole thing was you had to raise your hand and ask for help because there was no way out. Hello, scary. So the point is it's always okay to ask for help. So don't feel bad, just ask for it. And then if they say no, then that's your feedback. Then you can make another decision, but it's okay to ask for help and ask for what you need up front versus like thinking that you're okay and thinking that you can do it and then going through and doing it and then feeling like resentful because you didn't ask for what you needed. So ask for what you need up front. That's what my therapist says.
Never the real always here wants to know, I'm really tight on money right now and I need to ask for it from my family, but I'm too scared. Any tips on how to approach this?
I just asked Patty this question. Patty, come on. Come here. You can speak right into my breasts.
So I would just talk about have a conversation with my mom, and then if they had the money, then they would help me. And if they don't, then you can figure it out.
Good job. Anyway.
7 of 9 wants to know, what are your thoughts on the 20 plus year age gap and how do I tell my family about it?
Well, assuming that everyone is of gorgeous, legal age, and I don't know though, when it's like, I actually had a really dear friend who dated this guy who was like 20 years her senior, and he was addicted to testosterone, but his body was amazing, but he was a nightmare, and it didn't work out. So take that with what you will. And tell your family to get why is it their business? Who you're dating? And if they're older than you. Mom and dad, it's giving Grimes and Elon Musk. That name with all the numbers.
It might be Grimes.
Did you see that YouTube video? We talked about it on this YouTube before, right? Where she eats the butter toast and then Adam Rippon, no, he recapped it on his Insta stories. I think about it like once a week. Like that series of stories that he did. And we hope 7-Eleven, the baby of your dreams, is doing really well.
Emil V_07 wants to know, how do you better yourself while balancing school and life without feeling selfish?
When we're really busy and stretched thin for time, it's okay to try to find your balance and your self-care in like small bits. You don't necessarily have to have like an entire night or like a whole day off. You can find like 10 or 15 minutes to like turn your phone off, turn the TV off, and get into your meditation, or take a little bath, or take a little walk. Do the thing that's gonna bring you a little bit of joy and help you find a little bit more of your own balance. Right.
There's nothing selfish about self-care, because that was the second part of her question.
That is like a literal quote from Queer Eye. I literally said there's nothing selfish about self-care. Stop quoting me all the time, Jerry Barrett. I was like in the booth and I was like, there's nothing selfish about self-care. I said that on Queer Eye.
Okay.
It's probably where you heard it. You're like, I don't watch Queer Eye. I don't watch you way too much as it is.
You're actually my favorite client at the moment.
At the moment, the
Tail Lloyd 74 wants to know, how do I talk to my family about gender when I feel like they may never get it or try to?
Well, you don't have to prove yourself to someone who is not going to make an effort. So if you feel like they're really, really not going to make an effort and it would put you in an unsafe space, you don't have to do that. I have this like life coach who I work with, and she was just saying that whenever we get this feeling that we like need to convince someone of something, it's important to like sit with that and really like sit with yourself. Because you don't need to convince anyone of your humanity. Not to plug my own TV show, but I would say watch Getting Curious episode 3. You could tell them to watch it. It breaks it down pretty easily and like simply. And just know that you're beautiful and you're great and you are perfectly worthy of love and acceptance and admiration from your family. And if they aren't ready to do it now, they will be ready to do it at some point. You don't have to subject yourself to them if you feel like they haven't earned the right to talk to you because they haven't even done their due diligence yet. So I love you to pieces and you're doing really good.
Brandon wants to know, ways to have fun at home and no, I don't have pets. So he already beat you to that punch.
Well, my brain went immediately to one place. You know what you could really do? Why don't you go register some people to vote for the midterm elections if you're bored? Why don't you get off your ass and go register some people to vote? Because let me tell you a story. The last time the Democrats held Congress, the Senate, and the White House, okay? It's 2010, and we lost the most elected seats in history, Democrats did. 2010 was Barack Obama's first midterm. We lost all these state house majorities, we lost governorships, we lost 1,000 elected seats in that midterm. We cannot lose our vigilance right now. And these people are working overtime to like get every middle-aged Karen furious about trans issues. They are just using these social hot button issues to like drive out every single like low-key racist, transphobic Karen. Okay? So we have to work together. Keep our eye on the prize. Midterms. So you really should not be bored at home. We're very busy right now. Thank you for coming to the channel. I hope that helped you out with your life advice. I did say before, it's questionable. Don't always follow it. It's not necessarily qualified in every single way, but I do my best. And thanks for coming to the YouTube channel. We love you so much. Like, comment, share it with your friends. Get into it. Yeah, we love you so much.